We're back with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and Season 3 is finally here. However, we need to add a bit of style to these reviews. And there we go. Stylish, am I right? Okay, so it's been almost 2 years since the finale of Strange New Worlds, Season 2, and the cliffhanger we left the crew of the USS Enterprise on. Finally, we're getting back to the story, and we've got a double episode premiere of this new season. In today's review, we'll be taking a look at Season 3, Episode 1, Hegemony Part 2, and then Episode 2, Wedding Bell Blues. Keep in mind, this review will contain spoilers, so you have been warned. Welcome to Trek Central. I'm your host, Captain Jack. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. We've got about 9 weeks of reviews coming up, so we're going to keep you pretty busy with Star Trek lore, info, anything, memes. Yeah, just, hit the subscribe button. It's going to be fun. I should say, we've recently started a Patreon to support the development of our YouTube videos. If you're interested, please check it out via the link below. We're also running a special offer with an exclusive Trek Central pin if you join our Patreon in the next 2 weeks. See the links below, and we hope you consider supporting the channel in the meantime. If you're new around here, we always ask you, like always, please answer your thoughts in the comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear your thoughts on it. Okay? Hit it. The Enterprise is in a war zone, and about half of the main characters have been kidnapped. Captain Pike is responsible not only for his crew, but also for the love of his life, all while the safety of the Federation hangs in the balance. After all that, love's in the air, and it's time for a wedding, it seems. It's a very exciting, very long-awaited season premiere, but is it everything we've been hoping for? Let's get into it. If you haven't seen Season 1 or 2 and need a quick refresh, because let's be honest, it's been 2 years almost, we've done a refresh video down below. Go watch it, then watch Season 3, then watch this. Make it so. Hegemony Part 2 opens up fairly well, diving straight into the action. Watching Captain Pike bend his orders to retreat, desperately trying to save the kidnapped crew, was awesome. However, after that cold open, I don't know, the episode begins to fall apart a bit. With saving Battelle, Pike's decision making on the bridge, Scotty in engineering, and of course the prisoners on the Gorn ship, there is a lot going on. The Gorn present a credible threat, even if their accuracy is questionable to the Gorn face in Arena. Visual updates aside, their characterization feels far more akin to generic evil bug aliens, using the Gorn name for sheer nostalgic value. Speaking of nostalgia, Pike all but winked in the camera, hinting at their return in Arena, and it felt beyond forced. Over-reliance on name value original series nostalgia is fast becoming a problem for Strange New Worlds. As I am sure I'll mention in later reviews of Season 3, it is similar to the series' over-reliance on using James T. Kirk every 5 minutes. I'll cover this in another video soon, but we really don't need to be seeing him all the time. Not to mention, the status quo is completely restored. Everyone's saved, Battelle turns out fine, and even with the darker fight scenes in the Gorn ship, everything's fine. The day saved by a bit of technobabble in an admittedly stunning visual sequence by the twin suns. It's not a bad season premiere, but it wraps up a little too neatly considering the scale. Outside of some mental scars for Ortiz, I struggle to see much in the way of long-term ripple effects for this season's story. I was personally hoping we would see a more expanded conflict with the Gorn. We know the next episode, Wedding Bell Blues, jumps about 3 months from the Gorn storyline. Now, I was personally hoping we would see more of the Gorn conflict. Star Trek is not all about war and space battles, certainly not, but the franchise overall has given us some of the best war and battle stories. Look at Deep Space Nine, or even the Xindi crisis in Star Trek Enterprise. Now I do say this, especially since the past 2 seasons have been spent setting up the Gorn threat as something big, but now it's simply resolved. Yes, we have seen things like this in The Next Generation, with them setting up the Borg, then resolving it in a 2-parter, being the best of both worlds. Now, we're seeing a similar thing with the Gorn. I just expected a little bit more, and I don't think there's anything wrong in having that expectation. The opening battle scenes with the Gorn would have worked a lot better if Paramount Plus had not released the scene last year as part of the marketing for the 3rd season. Oh, and also the other scene where they all turn into Vulcans. I think I would have found the Enterprise ramming the Gorn ship a lot better if we hadn't seen it yet. Thinking of this from a sci-fi nerd perspective, I was expecting a little bit more damage and explosions across the ship when they commenced to ram. When I think of ramming speed, 1, I think of Mr. Worf, 2, I think of a Battlestar Galactica's last fight and the damage that caused to that. Chief Engineer Pellier and Lieutenant Scott interacting was super enjoyable in this episode. I actually think they work really well together, and I'm excited to see more of a dynamic throughout the coming season. Overall, I did enjoy Hegemony Part 2. The second episode is where the season truly begins in earnest. After a 3-month gap, the Enterprise is all fixed up, and Chapel is back from a time with Dr. Roger Corby. We all knew where the story was going, and centering Spock as he adjusts to losing Chapel. Using an altered reality, which Spock fights alongside Corby to connect, was a great way of showing his journey of acceptance through the episode. Rhys Darby, as a trickster, who is Trelane, maybe not, was a treat, stealing every scene he was in. As he became increasingly malicious towards the episode's conclusion, it was simply delightful to watch. The episode even confirms the long-held fan theory that Rhys Darby was playing a member of the Q Continuum, with a voice-only cameo from John Delancey, although the resolution is nearly identical to the Squire of Gothos. Although this episode does still leave it rather vague as to whether Trelane is present, and that is the character, and it's kind of the same one we see in the original series or not. Little confusing there, little bit of a grey area. It does call into question how nobody recognised the obvious similarities in the original series episode. But that's a problem with most prequels, and I hope that Strange New Worlds has found itself jumping through more than once. Also breaking the episode with the contemporary pints of Guinness and the 80s needle drop, which kind of did feel out of place for the franchise, but I kind of enjoyed it. Ending on that note kind of felt out of character for Star Trek, which is a shame because there's a lot more to love with this one. I did enjoy the opening of this episode. It did establish that 3 months have passed since the Gorn crisis we saw in the opening episode. Oh, can I also comment on the VFX and design shots used in the opening of this episode? Not only are the shots of the Federation fleet super interesting, with a new ship I think, and some other different designs, but also with this fantastic intro shot into Starbase 1. If I can show it on screen without Paramount copyrighting me, I will absolutely show it. If not, maybe I'll just put the timestamp on there, but you know which one I mean. Expectations going into the third season were high, as they would be after a nearly 2-year wait. The show is as gorgeous as ever. There are also familiar emphasis on character, with spotlights on La'an's childhood and the romance between Spock and Chapel. Also returning is the show's use of the original series characters and concepts. Though I will say, this use is beginning to come at the cost of questionable canon issues and the show's own voice being squandered in the process. Pushing aside those reservations, there's a lot of fun to be had in this premiere episodes. I particularly enjoyed the second episode, which successfully juggles a character-driven romantic drama with a comedic trickster. Having powerful character spotlights amongst the out-there, imaginative episodes, and the concept of those is one of my favourite things about this show. Based on these 2 episodes, they're here to stay for season 3. I'm very excited to see where the next week's episode, Shuttle to Kenfoy, takes the crew of the Enterprise. We'll of course have more thoughts on these episodes in the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for dedicated videos on that one, the ships, the characters, and more. Strange New Worlds Season 3 premiered on July 17th and will be continuing weekly on Paramount Plus in the UK, US, Canada, Latin America, Austria, Australia, Italy, France, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Japan. It's also available to stream on Sky Showtime in the Nordics, including the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, and Central and Eastern Europe at a later date in some regions. You can check out more information on trekscension.net for where you can watch Strange New Worlds Season 3. So, those are the opening episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. What do you think of these episodes? Don't forget, comment your thoughts below. Of course, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. A big thank you to everyone who supported us on Patreon. Your support allows us to continue making these Galaxy-class videos. If you do want to support us, check us out via the link down below. For now, I've been Captain Jack. Thank you very much for joining us on our first Strange New Worlds Season 3 review. I can't wait to join you over the next couple of weeks, and probably still in uniform, if you like it, and we'll see where we go. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.